Okay, this is video number 5. And in this video, what we're going to be focusing on is showing you how to get paid, how you're going to go about paying your carrier. Now, I have called the facility, the load has been delivered, I've talked to the carrier, he's good to go, everything is good to go with the delivery. Now, it's good for us to get confirmation saying that it's been delivered, that's great. But in order for us to get paid, we have to have the proper documentation so that we can send to our customer and they can take a look at it and pay us. One of the most important documents that you have to have is your proof of delivery. It's also referred to as your BOL, your bill of lading. So what we're going to take a look at now is our information that we've gotten from our carrier. Our carrier has sent over his information via mail, and he also sent it over via email. So you can get an email and you can get it via hard mail. Just depends on how your carrier is going to send it to you. Now, we've gotten the mail, and what we've done is we've went in and we got taken out of that package, we've taken out the BOL. The BOL is our proof that this load has been delivered. It has a stamp on it, and that stamp is going to have the receiving facility, and it's going to say, hey, this load was delivered, and it's going to tell us how much of it was delivered. So that's what we mean when we say proof of delivery, because anything could have happened on the way to the load. The load could have toppled over, there could have been damages to the freight, and if there are damages, it has to be annotated on the BOL to say, okay, we were looking for 4,000 cases, but we only are going to accept 3,900. 100 boxes were damaged. Well, that information will be annotated on your BOL. So we're looking at our BOL, and we were expecting 4,020 cases to deliver, and we have 4,020 cases that did deliver. So we're good to go on that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this information, we're going to take our invoice, we're going to put an invoice together, and we're going to send that invoice to our customer. The invoice will say what the amount of the line haul was and if there were any accessorial charges added. So we have our invoice, we have a BOL from the carrier saying that it has been delivered, and we have our tender. Remember, we talked about in order for us to get paid, we have to have our tender. We have our rate quote from our shipper saying they signed it and we're moving that load for $1,200. And we have our receipt where we have to pay an accessorial charge to get that load offloaded because it toppled over and they had to do a restack on it. So that carrier went ahead and paid that. He sent us his receipt. So what we're going to do is reimburse it. We already got approval from the shipper via this email that I'm going to put with this paperwork. So we have everything that we need now in order to get paid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this out in an email to our customer. So 30 days from this time, that customer is going to go ahead and get us paid. I want to send this as soon as possible. As soon as I receive it, I want to send it, because what happens is when a carrier sends you an invoice, you have 30 days to pay that carrier usually. Okay, so I also have 30 days that I'm going to have to wait to get paid from my shipper. So I want to send it in as soon as I get it so that when it comes time for me to pay the carrier, it's about the same time that I'm getting paid from the shipper. So there's not a whole lot of lag time of me having to pay and then wait to get paid from the shipper. You know, maybe a week, maybe 3 days, or maybe it will come at the same time. We want it to come around the same time, so we send it as soon as we receive it. And the other side of it, for me to make sure that I know exactly when I have to pay my carrier, what I'm gonna do is just go to my whiteboard and I'm gonna put on the whiteboard Star Freight invoice due, but today's date is 8/28. So I'll say Star Freight invoice due 9/27, 30 days from today. Okay, so we always want to make sure that we put that on our board so we know that we got to send a check out to these folks and get them paid, because you know, when time starts to move, we start to forget things. So we always want to make sure that we give ourselves a reminder, put it on our board, or you may just want to put it on your calendar. Whatever you have to do to remember that you have a payment due, make sure you do that. You can also have it in your TMS. I have it in my TMS. So I know exactly when my carriers due payment. Always remember when your payments are due, because you don't want to start being late on payments and starting to damage your days to pay or your credit. So you want to make sure that you're paying on time. And how we do that is reminders. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put an email together real quick, send this out to my customer so that we can go ahead and start the countdown. So now we have 30 days from today that we're getting paid. Now, if you take a look, this was a very simple process. We started you out from day 1 and we went to day 5, and we showed you the process of how you move a load. If you take a look at those videos, you'll see that it's not very difficult at all. But there are some things that we have to do in order to put ourselves in a position to be able to do that. So the process is relatively simple. Getting the process or getting to the process, we have to do some work to get to that process, to get to be able to earn a shipper's freight and move their load. But when it really comes down to it, managing it is not very difficult. 80% of the loads that I move are pick up, deliver, send the paperwork, get paid. Now, 20% of those loads you're gonna have some issues with, because loads don't always pick up and deliver without any problems. Sometimes you're gonna have a problem. Sometimes you're gonna have loads that topple over. Sometimes you're gonna have carriers that are late for your pickup and you gotta reschedule the pickup. Sometimes you're gonna have carriers that are late on deliveries. You gotta reschedule deliveries. There's a lot of little things that can happen, but all you have to do as a freight broker is stay on top of those things, keep everything organized, keep your paperwork together, and when you are moving loads, you're gonna be just fine. Now, if you take a look at this load on this one day, we made $265 on each of those loads. So that's $265, that's $10, $13, $530 that we're making on those 2 loads. And all we're doing is simply managing the movement of that load. That's it. So as you can see, that's not hard work. It doesn't take me any hard work really to sit at home from my computer and basically make a phone call, manage the movement of those loads, and make sure that when the load is delivered, I collect all of the paperwork. So now, as you can see, I have all of the paperwork that I need in order to get my carrier paid and in order for me to get paid as a broker. So I hope this video series has been helpful. The purpose of us doing it is for us to give you a bird's eye view into how it works, because again, many people talk about it, but not many people really do it. So this is my gift to you. I hope you have enjoyed it. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.